So now I just wanted to go over a few more examples where we have to use our distributive property. We have to combine like terms and try to simplify as much as possible. Okay, so we're going to combine a few of the techniques we've learned so far. So it's very important before we start any of these to recall our order of operations. Okay, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, PIMDAS. Okay, so we have parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, and we do it in that order. So the first thing we do is we look at parentheses here for this first example. In this first example, we have negative 2w minus 3 times 5x minus 6w times that whole expression. Then we have minus 6x. All right, so here we are going to start by seeing if we can simplify anything in the parentheses. It doesn't look like we can because they don't have like terms. So let's just leave that alone. Exponents, I don't see any there. And then we do have some multiplication in the form of this negative 3 times 5x times, and then the minus 6w, okay? So we have negative 3 times 5x minus 6w. So let's go ahead and do that distribution. So here we're going to have negative 2w, we'll leave that alone. And this negative 3 times 5x is going to give us negative 15x. And the negative 3 times the negative 6w is going to give us plus 18w. So we have here, that's because we have negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18, and we just keep the w there. And then we also have this negative 6x out here as well. Okay, so now that we've done our distribution, we can see if we can combine any like terms. So this first term here, negative 2w, has a variable component of w, and so does this 18w here. So we can combine those. So negative 2w plus 18w, that's going to give us 16w. Okay, and then we have negative 15x. Okay, so we can look at this negative 6x also has the x component as well. So this will be negative 15x minus 6x. That's going to give us minus 21x. And that's about as simple as we're going to make this. Now let's look at this next one here. We have negative 6 times the expression negative x plus 4y. Okay. Plus 2 times the expression negative 7y minus 6x. Okay, so first we check our order of operations, parentheses. Can we simplify anything in the parentheses? It doesn't look that way because we don't have any of the variable terms in common. So we don't have any exponents either. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a multiplication. And here we're going to distribute this negative 6, and we're going to distribute this 2 as well to each of these expressions. Okay, so if we distribute the negative 6 to the negative x, that's going to become 6x. Okay, we have negative 6 times negative 1x. That's going to give us positive 6x. So we have negative 6 times 4y. That's going to give us minus 24y. Again, that's because negative 6 times 4 is negative 24. Now we go over here and we have the negative 2, or we have the positive 2 going to the negative 7y. That's going to give us minus 14y. Okay. And then we have the 2 going to the negative 6x as well. So that's going to give us minus 12x. Okay, and now we can see if we can combine like terms. Here we have 6x. And the only other term with an x variable is this negative 12x here. So 6x minus 12x is going to give us negative 6x. And then we have negative 24y minus 14y. We can combine those because they have the y in common. So that's going to give us negative 38y. And it looks like it's about as simple as you're going to make that. Okay, let's look at this one. Here we have 4w minus 2 times the whole expression, negative 6z plus 6w plus 6z minus 3w and then minus 3w again. So, and then we have that, and we're going to add a 7z to that as well. So let's start by doing the parentheses here. Okay, so we have, looks like we're going to be able to do some simplification. So let's see if we can start there. It's going to save us some time if we do this. So this negative 6z, we also have a positive 6z here. And if we combine those, we're actually going to be able to cancel them. And this is because we have negative 6z plus 6z. So that moves us back to 0 on the number line. So we can go ahead and cancel that. Okay, then we have 6w minus 3w minus 3w. That's also going to take us back to 0, right? We can cancel those as well because these two together are negative 6w. So really we have 6w minus 6w, that's 0. So we can actually rewrite this whole expression as 4w minus 2 times 0 plus 7z. And that becomes a 0 because all of these together add up to 0, right? So anything times 0 is just 0. So this 2 term here actually just disappears, okay? So we have 4w minus 0 plus 7z. So we can just forget about that, and that becomes 4w plus 7z. And that's as simple as we're going to make it. And yeah, so that'll be our final answer here.